Dear friends, this week we'll be reading the Torah portion of Teitze. And in this week's Torah portion, like many of the portions in this part of the book of Dvarim, Deuteronomy, we cover many laws. And some of them are laws that are told to us for the first time. Many of them are laws told to us for the first time. And in this week's portion, amongst the many laws that are told, there's a verse that is very interesting, where it talks about that a man should not wear women's clothing and a woman should not wear men's clothing. This is something abominable to God. What does it mean, a man wearing women's clothing, a woman wearing man's clothing? What is the Torah trying to tell us? And there's a very important message that is being told through this verse, not just literal about how we should get dressed, but it's something much deeper about how we have to feel about ourselves. And that is that the Torah is telling us that it's very important that a person has to feel comfortable in their own skin. We have to learn to appreciate who we are, to know who we are, to know our qualities, to know our faults, to know our strengths, to know our weaknesses, and to be comfortable with what they are, and to try to make the best of who we are. And we know there is a promise that if we try hard, we can break through and make changes within ourselves, in our character, in our abilities. But it first starts by knowing and feeling comfortable who you are. We live in a world where we're always looking at the other person. We're measuring ourselves against other people. The whole bell curve, the way the university system works, is all about measuring yourself against other people. It's never measuring yourself against yourself. And there's a famous saying from the Rebbe of Kutsk, very profound. You got to pay attention. And he said, if you are you because I am I, and I am I because you are you, then I am not I and you are not you. But if you are you because you are you, and I am I because I am I, then I am I and you are you. The day you live through yourself and I live through myself, then we can come together as one, because we're comfortable in our own skin, we're confident, we don't have to look out through others to see and measure who we are and what we have achieved and what we're capable of achieving. And that is the key. Get to know yourself. God needs every one of us. Every one of us in this world is unique, and every one of us in this world is put here for something that only we can accomplish, with our difficulties and faults and our weaknesses and our strengths and our great abilities. When you get to know what that is, then you become your true self. Then you feel comfortable with yourself. You feel wholesome. And only then can you really project onto others as well. But if we don't feel comfortable within ourselves, and we're always looking to measure ourselves by others, by external things, we'll never feel comfortable. Even if we reach the heights of other people, it's not our life. It's not an expression of who I am. Get to know who you are and feel comfortable with yourself. And this is a very powerful lesson, especially in our times, when we live in a world of social media and everybody throws out all of their lies into the public, and so often we feel jealous. Oh, if I only had this and I only had that and I was smiling like they are. Do you really know what's going on in their life? You think a smile is always a smile and a cry is always negative? Get to know who you are, because you're the only one who knows who you are. No one else really knows you. And this is what the great sage Rabbi Moshe of Annapolis once said. He was a great man, but he said, when I come to heaven, I'm not going to be worried when they're going to say, Zusha, how come you weren't as great as Moses and Abraham and Isaac and Jacob, the other Jewish greats? The thing I'm worried about is when they'll say, Zusha, how come you weren't Zusha? How come you weren't what I planned you to be? How come you didn't get to know yourself and to use every one of your abilities to the fullest and push yourself within the parameters I gave you? And that's the secret to a successful life. And as we're in the month of Elul, of introspection, get to know who you are. Because when you get to know yourself, you see the world in a very different way, and the world sees you in a much more beautiful way. So I want to wish you Shabbat Shalom. God bless you all. We love you all. Candlelighting time in Montreal this Shabbat, 6:51 p.m.